Hi travelers, Tara here, and I'm coming to you with an elemental reading for the fire sign. So this is elemental fire. This will be for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Please listen up, Sagittarians, because you're about to have the next 2 to 3 months perhaps could be quite a ride for you. Um, I've been talking to you about how Saturn is going to be leaving Sagittarius, and to have heart, there is light at the end of the tunnel. This is true. It will be leaving Sagittarius December 22nd. However, we are moving into the Mercury retrograde shadow phase, which begins on November 15th. And what is very interesting about this particular Mercury retrograde is the fact that it is occurring in the sign of Sagittarius, and it will play out until I think it leaves, excuse me, December 2nd. But we always like to give it another 2 weeks before it gets back up to full speed after it's gone direct. So we're looking into January almost. So first week of January. So what may feel or appear or seem to be a new start after Sagittarius leaves, Saturn leaves Sagittarius, could be a false start for many of you. This is not a negative thing. It's simply letting you know that there could be some delays and hangups and missing information around this time. For all of you and everybody, and I said this to all of the other readings as well, this is occurring across the holiday season. So typically what can happen with Mercury retrograde is that people go on strike at the airlines, the baggage handlers or the pilots, or there's bad weather, or let's say, for instance, you book a flight to, and the reason why I'm saying this is because Sagittarius rules long distance travel, the sign of Sagittarius. However, the planet Mercury rules short distance travel. Okay, so this could be like you book a flight to go someplace, and for whatever reason, maybe you missed the flight. What you want to do is have a plan B, C, and D in place. And please, please, please double check any kind of contracts that you sign. So if this is about plane tickets, find out what refunds are. Find out if you have travel insurance, find out what's covered and what's not. Same thing if you're renting a car. What does the rental agreement say? Double check to make sure that your insurance covers you in case something happens. You want to, any contracts or things put to you, please, please, please double check those. If you yourself are not sure that you're catching everything, have another set of eyes look at it for you. You cannot simply stop living your life because the planets are doing something. But what you can do is anytime that, doesn't matter what planet is in retrograde, you want to revise, rework, redo, okay, whatever that planet is trying to get you to do in whatever sign it falls in. Now, I am still offering the 20 for 20 readings. One question. The bookings will end on Saturday at midnight CST. I will not accept any more bookings, so don't be trying to sneak in at 12:01 because by 11:59, that is going to be disappearing. I also had scheduled to bring you guys discount off on the transit tutorial so that you guys can really get a clear understanding of how transits work, how you yourself can kind of take a look and see what may be happening. I had planned to bring that to you on Monday, but I just got a whole bunch of, I got to go to the podiatrist, I've got to get an MRI on my foot, I've got to get a mammogram, I've got a lot of stuff going on. So Mercury is already coming in, plans are changing. Please keep a lookout for the newsletter that I'll be putting out on Sunday, and I should be able to give you another date of when I'm going to be doing that transit tutorial. Also, I was not aware that the transit watch for this week was not posted. I wrote it, I posted it, somehow it ended up in trash. Somebody contacted me this morning, so I took it out of trash. It's now posted for those members who have their charts and are on the website. You can go ahead and read that transit watch. For those of you who are not memberships, if you purchase a membership, you get your 2 free charts and your ebooks. If you are not a member and you don't want to become a member, but you still want to learn about the transits in your chart and whatnot, you can purchase a standalone chart, okay? There's a couple of other things I want to talk to you about in terms of planetary transits, and then we're going to get directly into the reading. We just had Jupiter leave Libra, October 10th. It moved into the sign of Scorpio. Jupiter rules relationships and partnerships, romantic, business, familial, friendships. It also rules the law, contracts, and legalities. All right. That's why the Justice card represents that sign. It's about fairness, but it also rules your enemy, your rival, or your opponent. So for some of you, this could be about joining forces with someone and writing up a prenup or some new kind of business contract. For others of you, this could be about a divorce and a separation and trying to divide up the property equally and fairly. Now, we have Pluto in Capricorn. And it takes Pluto, I think, 248 years to make a complete transit around our universe, our solar system. The very first time that we have any relationship in terms of our country, America, with the Pluto and Capricorn event was back when this country was founded. We went to war with England to get out from under the power structure or the power clutches of the Queen of England and the country of England. Then we had another event in opposition in the 30s in which people like Hitler and Mussolini came to power. We also saw the fall of the stock market and the loss of fortunes, those fortunes like the shipping magnates, the steel barons, the oil barons, all of those super rich people. Then we had a president to come in and offer us the New Deal to help us rebuild the infrastructure of America. Then we had the Pluto in Virgo conjunction in the 60s, and this became about the birth control pill. It became about women's right to choose whether they want to have an abortion or not, controlling their reproductive rights. This is when we started learning about food safety and what was in the food and what's good and what's bad. We saw medical discoveries come through. We had people demonstrating in the streets against the military-industrial complex. Now that Pluto in Capricorn is here at 17 Capricorn, it's going to be at 17 for quite a while, and we're dealing with the Saturn in Sagittarius. What we're looking at is Sagittarius rules immigrants, foreigners, borders, taxes, imports, exports, higher education. So this is universities. It rules the law. It rules the universal law. It also rules websites, publishings, books. This is about the message to the larger masses, right? So Saturn's been sitting there. So it's been, this is why you're seeing things about the wall or the Muslim travel ban or making abortions illegal again in some states. So this is about a kind of the factor of the other versus us or the other versus them. And if you've been paying attention to politics, last night in Virginia, something extraordinary happened where we had 11 male Republican politicians replaced mostly with women. We had the first African American, and he is a foreigner from Liberia, an immigrant, became the mayor of a town in Montana. We had the first African American mayor in the state of in St. Louis. We had 2 Sikh individuals elected as mayor. So this is really about Pluto and Capricorn is about that old power structure that is crumbling, and it is being replaced with something new. Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn, and Saturn says what he wants you to do is persevere and be determined. He wants you to build a bigger, better structure. And we can look at it from one standpoint. The way our elections went in 2016 now is that the power structure that is in place is no longer working. And so we're having all of these changes and these differences and conflicts because there's a change trying to happen. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up to you is because what happens to you, what happens on a global scale, will affect you on a personal scale. Do not think just because you're not involved in politics and you're not paying attention to what's happening that you will not be affected. You will be on some level, in some way. And if not you personally, then it will be somebody close to you or somebody that you know. The 6 degrees of separation. Okay. So if you're interested in getting the 20 for 20, or you want to learn about the transits, you can either join the membership website. I have 3 different levels. If not, you can come over and just purchase your own chart. You can click on the little eye right up here in the corner. That'll take you directly over to the website. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm using the Impressionist Tarot. I really like these cards a lot. Do keep in mind this is a general reading, and the messages will not resonate with everyone. That requires a personal reading, okay? For those of you who have participated already in the 20 for 20, thank you so much. For those of you that are trying to book already for the transit tutorial, I want to thank you as well. For those of you who missed the Akashic Records discount, but you have come in and purchased them anyway, thank you. I will be starting on those this Saturday. And so, you know, there's a lot happening and a lot going on. So let's put the 9 cards down and see what they have to say. 3 of Coins, 3 of Swords, and the Temperance. Well, fire signs. You know, and we have Uranus in Aries. And Uranus is the great awakener. He's the revolutionary. He's the rebeller. He comes into... it's the energy of the Tower to tear down something so that you can rebuild it in a bigger, better what? Image. How does it? That's what Aries rules. Aries rules the first house of self. It's about our ego. How do we feel about ourselves? How do we present ourselves? How do other people see us? How do we look? What is it that we're trying to put across with our outside appearance? But the main lesson of Aries is that of courage and determination. Okay? Not being where you're running over people and you're being arrogant, but just simply being confident. And maybe this is about a change in your confidence level. I don't know. Here's the sign of Sagittarius that has come out. So let's put the rest of the cards down. The 9 of Wands. The Strength card. Well, and the Aries. That's all fire from here on. It's all fire. Here's the Empress. Well, there's our Venus card. And I was just talking to you about the Jupiter we had a Jupiter-Venus conjunction. And I think that was part of the energy of seeing all of those women and foreign people elected last night, in that because we had a Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And Venus is about appearances as well. The Page of Coins. And then the Ace of Swords. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. So regardless of what's happening, you still have some control over this, a bit more than what you think you do. But we have 3 threes here. What's underneath the deck? And a 9 of Cups. And this is our overall energy. And the 9 of Cups, no matter what deck you're reading it, is associated with wishes. Okay? But then the question becomes, what am I wishing for? And whatever it is that I'm wishing for, is it in my best interest? Is it in my highest good? Okay, that's our spiritual question. Okay, and if it is, how do I go about getting that? Because Capricorn is all about, what does it take for me to get from where I am now to really where I want to go? How do I want my reputation? How do I want, what standing do I want in the world or within the community? Now, in the center, I have the Strength card. It is represented by the sign of Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So in one respect, this is about some type of illumination, and I would say it would be a self-illumination because it falls in the center. For some of you, this could be related to Leo rules the 5th house. The 5th house rules babies, lovers, junior demographics 20 plus years behind you. It rules your creativity and your self-expression. Okay. The 3 threes here, Let me give you this. The one and oh, wrong thing. Hold on. Three threes can speak of if this is a romantic relationship, because right in the center we're dealing with babies and lovers, potential lovers. This could be either you meeting someone and trying to decide whether or not you want kids or not. This could be you having children and the other person doesn't, you wanting to get together. This could be that person having children from another relationship and you don't have any, getting together. This could be about both of you having children from other relationships, trying to get together. Okay. It could be about godchildren, adoption, foster parents, grandchildren, teenagers, youth groups, things of that nature. But what I'm looking at is cheating, excessive flirting, or a lack of commitment with these three threes. So this tells me that something for some of you fire signs that you had been wishing for, that you had been hoping for, came in and you had the opportunity to join forces with somebody in a concrete way. The coins represent the what do you call it, the material plane. So like I said, this could have been about you maybe moving in together, something of that nature. But we see with this Three of Swords that we had to give up something. Now, most of the times you will see this card, or it's traditionally associated with a third party coming in, which could be very well true. And it speaks to a disappointment. Normally we see it in the heart, the Three Swords in the heart. This one's in a flower. And in a sense, it's sort of like whatever this thing was that you've been hoping for, it started, because that's what threes are. It started and it was about to bear some kind of fruit or abundance. Again, I bring that up because this is the Venus card, the Empress, and she represents fruitfulness, abundance, fertility, pregnancy, growth, expansion. Okay. But either this was the cutting winds of fall, there was a lack of agreement, perhaps some type of miscommunication. But it really says that whatever it was that was growing and that had the potential to be something very fruitful, the swords came in and cut it all to shreds. And so some of you are in a place where you are trying to heal from that. Now, that still in a sense kind of implies to me that there was some type of combining trying to happen, because the Temperance card is about combining and integrating. For some of you, this could be trying to integrate a person of a different religious background or racial background or financial background, not being accepted, something of that nature. For some of you, not all of you. So here we have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is telling me that whatever this thing was, it was really a battle for you in some respects, and that you are kind of like standing back now, trying to look at the battlefield to see where all of the bodies have fallen, okay, and going back over your strategy. Really, wands are to me all about your focus, your determination, your drive, and your ambition. But it could also be that we're dealing with anger, heat, war, aggression, fights, blood. Those are the things that Aries rules, Mars, the planet Mars rules, okay? And because I have these three fire signs here, I have Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. So I do believe that there's something in this particular spread for everybody out there. What that is, I don't know. This may not be talking about your particular situation. As I said, that requires a personal reading, but there's got to be something in here that speaks to everybody. This is, I'm looking at this like a grand trine, okay? And that means that on the wheel, on the natal wheel, these planets all line up. They make a triangle. Okay, there's Aries and there's Leo and then there's Sagittarius, the first house, the fifth house, and the ninth house. What do those things mean? You got your ebooks, read up on that. Now, the other meaning of the three threes, because I remember I told you there's three threes here. It tells of unexpected good luck. Some kind of abundance coming through. Here it is here. Now, this could be coming news from far away. If you, let's say, for instance, that you have a business that depends on imports and exports, okay? And you've been having a difficult time getting that across. This is saying to you, try to remain balanced, the water and the fire. Don't upset the balance of things. Something is going to be illuminated. The sun, in a sense, this is like the sun coming out. Okay, this is also asking you to tame whatever those passionate desires or that anger that you may have. Get that shit under control so that you can really take advantage of the opportunities and the abundance that's trying to come in for you. And I do see it across here with this Page of Pentacles and this Ace of Swords. Now, for some of you, this is about learning to take your licks here, okay, and learning the lesson from that. Now, what is interesting here is I have a couple. Here's the Emperor and here's the Empress. Remember I talked about two people coming together or two things coming together to make a third thing? Well, I'm reading for so many people. You know, that's not going to go the way for everyone, because we can see right down the center here, some of you are trying to get over making something not going the way that you want it to, and really trying to maintain your strength and perhaps trying to ground whatever that energy is. I think what's interesting to me about this spread is the meaning of this card. And this could be why I keep saying I think there's a message in here for all of you fire signs. Because the meaning of this card is, and you know, it's funny, I did this reading before and it did not save it. And I have to come back and do it again. So maybe that was not the message I was supposed to deliver, but this one. The meaning of the Empress is this. Remember that your physical surroundings serve as a reflection of your personal values too. Okay. In other words, you don't have to have the fanciest house in the world and the nicest furniture and the nicest ride. But if you're taking care of that shit and it's kind of orderly space makes one orderly mind. If you see a disparity between the life that you want and the life you have already created for yourself, it is time to make a correction. And I think that some of you will indeed do that. Now, this Emperor is quite interesting because he says you must challenge authority, even if that authority is your own. In other words, how are you wielding your own authority over your life? Are you allowing other people to come in and make authoritarian decisions for you? Or and you're afraid to challenge them about what's right for you? This card is saying, consolidate your power and think strategically with your head and not with your heart. This is a time for action and not apathy. So if you're still kind of smarting over whatever this damn Three of Swords is, don't. Because the truth, those swords speak to the truth. Here it is. The truth is that it really wasn't in your highest good, even though it's something you may have wanted. Very much so. Very much so. Sometimes that's how things play out, and we don't always necessarily understand them at the time. Huh, that's quite interesting. I want to pull cards on this Three of Swords here. And I'm going to pull cards on this Nine of Wands. This card says, and I like the meaning of this. Let me read it to you right quick. It's the Strength card. Practice discipline and self-control. If you must bare your fangs and roar, be civilized about it. The keywords are bravery, fortitude, courage, self-control, valor, and heart. In other words, you can challenge authority by speaking softly and carrying a big stick. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Okay? This could be about not letting that fire energy of you just wanting to come in and raise shit to the ground because things didn't go your way, or you don't like the way somebody said something, or you don't like the way somebody looked at you, whatever the case may be. This is about asking you to really get a control over that and make the choice about how you want to respond. You can't control what other people think, what they say, how they react or respond to you, your appearance, your outside, what you're putting across, what you're trying to say, or what your thoughts are, or what your position of authority is. You can only control yourself. And so you have a choice of either jumping into that fray and fighting, or bringing it down a notch and combining that shit and working on yourself. Okay? That's really what that says. So, in my opinion. So let's put cards down on this Three of Swords and then this Nine of Wands. And then I'm going to close this reading out. Because this kind of reads like a difference of opinion to me. Two different energies. Sagittarian. Sagittarian is a more open, kind of, in its positive, accepting. It's about inclusivity. It is the benefactor. It is the guru. It is about taking a whole bunch of different stuff and putting it together to make it work for you and everybody else, and sharing that information. Whereas the Emperor can be someone who is quite selfish. He can operate from a place of true authoritarianism, his way or the highway. Okay. And what's interesting is that Aries can be a selfish sign. Why? Because it does deal with the ego. But also Sagittarius could be a very judgmental sign. Could go either way. So if you find yourself falling in those energies and you're one way and the other person is another way, try to find a happy balance, a happy medium. You can even agree to disagree and then keep it moving. Okay, Three of Swords, the allegrezza al cuore, the happiness of the heart, and kind of that is representative of the heart. Some kind of upset over pride, vanity, hubris. Remember, I was just talking to you about that. I'm right. Sometimes that's about just I'm right, and it's not about that. And here is the shadow side of that, the domestico, right? The domestico is somebody who, for all intents and purposes, he's a domestic. He's there to help you. But then you have to find out what are his true intentions. And this could even be sometimes somebody coming back. And what are their intentions now? Have they changed, or are they still the same? Because he can also be a collaborator. And this could be about your own pride of trying to try to satisfy yourself, coming in and screwing you over, okay? Or having someone help you, someone whispering in your ear something. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. And maybe what they were trying to do all along was help themselves. So remember, challenging authority, even if it's your own. The Nine of Wands. Here's a gran signore. An important man, a man of high society, and or someone you're interested in. Here's the Emperor. He follows the Emperor. Meditation and thought. We're thinking about whatever this Nine of Wands traditionally is known as a battle or a fight. and being sad over the fact that I guess the person left. I'm not sure. Let me see right quick what that Nine of Wands is telling me. Again, all of this, everything is talking about discipline and self-control. And maybe some of you honestly feel like you're out of control right now, or the situation is out of control. Events changeable in a constant state of flux. It is best to sit quietly and wait to see what the tide will bring in. The keywords are deliberation, discipline, reason, and recovery. That thing keeps coming across for you, fire signs. I don't know what that means for some of you out there. Well, I do hope those messages helped. And again, if you're interested in the 20 for 20 or anything else I have going on, oh yeah, I'm going to be having articles coming up on membership website members on the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. And there's one more, I don't know. But anyway, I got a lot going on. So thank you guys, because work is saving me. Go ahead and click on that and it'll take you directly over to the website. Until next time, namaste.